One camp essential.
What camp essentials did we forget?
Tang.
We got into a campground really late, 11 or something. The maps we had, paper maps, electronic maps, they were all showing roads in places that they weren't. So we didn't find our campground until late. And the reason we had to go to a campground is because we got, well, I don't want to say chased out of our campsite by a bear, but when we started backing in and getting situated, the bear made itself known. So with that, we just opted for if you can hear it and it's barking at you, you should probably not be around it. Yeah, that ended the day of pain. Before that, leading up to that, we spent I don't know, probably 3 hours crossing. I'd have to go and look. It's probably about 10 or 12 miles. And in the end, we opted for finding another way out of that particular section just because the rocks and the road conditions were so bad. You know, I'm out here. I'm out here to enjoy the scenery and enjoy the drive and escape, not have my eyeballs and rattled out of my skull and my yeah. So the section of the official Oregon BDR route that takes you south from Christmas Valley is kind of intense. I might have been able to air down enough to make it tolerable, but I would have lost a lot of ground clearance, a lot more ground clearance in the process. And then, of course, there was the Port Cherokee that not going to do as well either. So yeah, that was ugly. I don't know how motorcycles do that either. We were following a set of 4 motorcycle tracks through that desert, and there were some pieces on there with some of those rocks that it was had to have been pretty bad. And then the maps that we had purchased from for the Oregon Backcountry Discovery route, once we got into Fremont National Forest, they started jumping around. They were not contiguous like the rest of the maps had been or were, and apparently that's not something I noticed. So we ended up having to kind of guess, I guess, for lack of a better term, make sure we knew where we were going. That was the issue that we ran across with the paper maps, and then even, I mean, between the mapping software on the iPad, 2 different Garmin GPSs, and in some places Google Earth, because we had cellular reception. A lot of the roads were just not where they were supposed to be. More importantly, a lot of them just didn't exist at all. So we had a lot of navigation in the dark, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. So we ended up at Thomas Reservoir. I got up this morning and got some pretty good pictures, I think, you know, for me anyways, of some stuff going on and around the lake. I'm, you know, trying to figure out how to take pictures on the water with reflections and all that jazz, and trying to get better at it. So yeah, anyways, I gotta go, and we got breakfast and we got packing to do. We get on the road. That's going to be a pot of awesomeness cheesy eggs.
I'm trying to remind myself that it's okay that we're running late this morning.
And
Because my mind is just like, ah!
yeah, we our eggs. We had to go through and find all the cracked ones and broken ones, and we used them for breakfast this morning.
How many did we crack?
2.
2.
2 were discarded. The rest we had to eat.
Which is
I've always possessed
I'm not running.
Continuing on our adventure, we found ourselves working off the same maps that we had been struggling with the day before. Along the way, we came across Rodman Rock, possibly one of the most amazing viewpoints of the entire trip. After having been back on the trail for a while, we decided it was time to stop for lunch. To say I chose our lunch location poorly would be very generous. This was the start of the days of mosquitoes. Everywhere. We ate our lunch as fast as we could and got back on the road. We found our way back to civilization to stock up before finding our way to Miller Lake. The campground we found at Miller Lake seemed to be a continuation of our lunch stop. Mosquitoes filled the air and we tried many different methods of keeping them away. Nothing seemed to work. We ate our dinner and huddled around the smoky fire and made our plans for the next day. Day 9. It didn't take long for our mosquito camp companions to realize that we were out of our tents. We skipped breakfast, packed up, and headed back the way we came. The night before, we had decided to head up to Bend and see about getting the latch fixed on the trailer. We made our way back to the Pilot Travel Center aired back up to highway pressure, got some breakfast, and headed towards Bend. Along the way, we stopped in at a Deschutes ranger station to see if we could find more maps. We came across the most helpful ranger of the trip. He spread out maps, looked at our route, offered up all kinds of suggestions, and dug out some maps that would help us on our journey west. Getting to Bend, the people of CVT were as helpful as always. They looked at the problem with the latch on the trailer and swapped it out while we were inside, ogling at all of the goodies that were for sale.
I like the emoji.
This is my favorite one.
That's great.
So, are we going
No, cool. We're doing this. So we're gonna come up this way, up this corner. I don't know if we actually go through Wyoming or not. We basically come this way. Yeah, we go through all of this. And then we go through and cut this corner. But I don't know if we actually cut through Wyoming or not. But we cut that corner.
We cut back down to 80
Or 15. Whatever. After our long stop in the town of Bend, it was getting late, and we were already way behind our planned timeline. We made our way back down the way we came and stopped for the night at the Crescent Lake. Again, we found more mosquitoes. We thought we were prepared this time. While in Bend, we had picked up a bunch of citronella candles. They worked pretty well, but we were up against mutant mosquitoes. Here, let me slide down a little bit.
What's on this side?
I can't open up the trailer to get my way.
Sweet. Double-sided and more useful.
Okay, so we are here.
Right here.
Oh,
Here.
yeah. And maybe a little bit of yeah. So
And I told you the Umpqua Ranger Station was, where's 138? It's 58. There's another one that runs through 138.
yeah.
And
The trick is going to be getting through the range, though, right? Right. There's not going to be a lot of roads that actually get through, aside from 58, that are
Yeah.
going to get through. That are going to get through the mountain range. Which one is
Wikia.
there?
Okay, so we are there.
So there's 6010, and that was on the piece of paper that we wrote down. The 6010.
Yeah, so I had written that.
I got a compass and a protractor in my.
Grid lines look like they're at a mile. Oh, did we need to set up the scuttle?
It's 5:30.
It's 5:30.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Oh.
Okay. When you have a little bit of patience, they go together so easy.
Oh, yeah.
But if you try to force
lose
it,
your
you
shit,
just
it's
lose your
gone.
shit. Okay, so we're gonna take 2154 to 21, which is this.
6010 is at Whitefish, right?
Yeah.
So we take a little more hardball tomorrow to make it up.
A lot.
No biggie.
A lot of hardball.
Well, yeah, a lot, but you know.
And we're not jacking little dinky back highways.
No, we're talking main drag. I get it. But it was worth the stop and bend. That was really kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we accomplished something. We got that trailer fixed,
Mm-hmm.
which was huge.
Well, we did 100 miles on hardball today.
Back
We
and
didn't go
forth.
anywhere.
Yes,
got a
we
trailer
did.
fixed.
Oh, trailer fix.
Got the trailer fixed. Got maps.
Not a lot.
This water bottle? It's too heavy. Let me summon my super strength.
Your 40-year-old super strength.
That took a lot out of me.
you, yeah.
I don't know if I can do that again.
Where we last left our crazy adventures, we were in Roseburg. All right, pull this over. This is our coast range, which is sort of our imperfect coast range.
John and I sat down and tried to take the information the ranger provided us, our new maps, and form a plan for the next day. We came up with a plan, marked some waypoints, and hit the rack. We didn't realize at the time just how close we were to our final destination.